So, hi friends, hi dear students. We are concerned with the biology lecture here, and in this biology lecture, we are studying the new lesson, that is molecular basis of inheritance. This molecular basis of inheritance, this lesson belongs to the unit genetics and evolution. This genetics and evolution, these are the two different terminologies. But these are two terminologies are interconnected. You better know what is genetics. Genetics is the branch of biology which deals with the study of inheritance, that is heredity and variation. What is heredity? We better know that some characters are there which are transferred from one generation to the next generation in the organism. बहुत सारे ऐसे कैरेक्टर्स होते हैं कि जो हमें हमारे पूर्वजों से मिलते हैं. Likewise, some people are having the hairy pinna. कुछ लोगों के कान के ऊपर बाल होते हैं. If papa is having that particular hairy pinna, beta also have. That is called as heredity. So heredity is there. Another is there, that is variation. But everything is not similar in the father and his son, or mother and his daughter. So that is variation. Some similarities are there, some dissimilarities are there. But what these similarities and dissimilarities, how these are being transferred from one generation to the another generation? How some similarities are conducted from one generation to the another generation? And that is said to be an inheritance. What is the base of that particular inheritance? We are studying it in this particular lecture. Molecular basis of inheritance. We have studied last year in the 11th standard the biochemistry of cell, and in this biochemistry of cell we have studied the various chemical factors. We have studied the carbohydrate present in the cell, we have studied the proteins present in the cell, we have studied the fats present in the cell, that is lipids. We have studied the nucleic acid present in the cell. Various other factors are present in the cell. But among these various factors, which is the basis of inheritance? Which is transferring the information from one generation to the another generation. So, we in this particular topic are going to conclude that what is that particular base? Mr. Sarafuli sir has given the lectures on the genetic basis of inheritance. And according to that genetic basis of inheritance, Gregor Johann Mendel has conducted the various experiments on it. So he is called as father of genetics. And this Gregor Johann Mendel, this person, has given the particular terminology called as factor, which is further named as Mendelian factor or determiner. And according to Mendel, something is present in the organism or something is present in that particular cell of the organism which is responsible for transferring the information from one generation to the another generation. What is that something? And we have to discover that particular something in this particular lesson. That something which is said to be a Mendelian factor or which is said to be a determiner. According to the researcher, according to the scientist, it is. It might be the carbohydrate, it might be the protein, it might be the nucleic acid, it might be the lipids, according to the various research. But most confusion was that it is in between the nucleic acid and protein. Among these two material, more controversy was there, that is, which should be the genetic material. First, in the year 1869, Friedrich Mischer has taken out that particular material from the white blood cells of the pus cells. What is that pus? Mostly जब कभी जख्म होती है तो जख्म से जो पस निकलता, तो पस सेल्स उसने मेडिकल लेबोरेटरी हॉस्पिटल से कलेक्ट किया। हॉस्पिटल से कलेक्ट करने के बाद उस पस सेल्स में से WBC उसने आइसोलेट किया, और WBC के ऊपर इन द ईयर 1969 he was doing the research. What was that research on the pus cell or on the WBC? He lysed that particular WBC cells. Lysis means breakdown of that particular WBC cells. He warned out that WBC cells cell wall. You better know that cell consists the protoplasm consists the nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. Nucleoplasm is present in the nucleus, the most important structure present in the cell, which is responsible to govern the cell. It is nucleus. So he isolated that nucleus. He isolated the material, chemical component present in the nucleus, and we better know that nucleus consists the chromosomes. But actually chromosomes consist two materials mainly, that is nucleic acid and protein. Before 1869, this nucleic acid terminology was not done. In the year 1869, Friedrich Michel first time isolated that particular chemical from the nucleus, and he named that particular chemical as a nuclein. This nuclein terminology is given by the Friedrich Michel. Further, this particular terminology, it is converted, or it is further recognized as a nucleic acid. How this nuclein was further recognized as a nucleic acid? Various chemical researcher has been doing various experiments on that nuclein, and it is concluded that nuclein is having the properties of acid, and that's why nuclein was further named as a nucleic acid. So likewise, the history of nucleic acid is that is nucleic acid was first discovered by the Friedrich Michel. He given the name nuclein, and nuclein was further studied for its chemical properties as having the acidic properties. It is named as nucleic acid. Further, I already told you that nucleic acid and protein, these both materials are present in the chromosome. So what should be the genetic material among this nucleic acid and protein present in that chromosome? So it was the most controversy present in the world in the year 1900 to the 1950 in this particular era. So during this particular period, various researchers were studying that what should be the Mendelian factor, or what should be the basis of inheritance, and various experiments were conducted in the year 1928 to the 1952. And in this particular period of nearly 25 years, in this particular 25 years, researcher came to know that what is the basis of inheritance. It is protein or it is nucleic acid. So from 1928 to 1952, various researchers like Griffith, Avery McLeod McCarthy, Hershey Chase, these researchers has conducted various experiments, and from these experiments they were concluding that what is genetic material, what is the basis of inheritance. And this particular basis of inheritance was started with the work of the Griffith. What is the work of Griffith? Griffith, he is the famous bacteriologist. He was studying on the bacteria, and bacteria which is causing the common disease in the human being. That particular disease is called as pneumonia. The causal organism for Streptococcus pneumoniae, and Griffith was doing the experiment on the Streptococcus pneumoniae. As you knows that bacteria is having the various kind of strains. So he was studying the strains of the Streptococcus pneumoniae. And he found that Streptococcus pneumoniae is having two kind of strains. One is called as R strain, another is called as S strain. This particular pneumonia disease, it is the common disease in the human being as well as various mammals. So he was doing the experiment on that Streptococcus pneumoniae causing the disease in the human being, it is causing the disease in the various mammals. So he conducted the experiment on the mice. When he was conducting the experiment on the mice, these two strains, which is said to be R strain, another said to be S strain, it is having the two different actions on the organism. Or mice having the different kind of response of this R strain and S strain. Among this one strain which is causing the disease, which is said to be a pathogenic, while another strain is not causing the disease, that is called as non-pathogenic. So among these two strains of the Streptococcus pneumoniae, this particular Streptococcus pneumoniae is having two strains. One is said to be R strain, another is said to be S strain. R stand for the rough strain and S stand for the smooth strain. So among this rough strain or smooth strain, which is causing the disease or which not causing the disease, rough strain, actually this is a virulent strain. A virulent strain means it is a non-pathogenic. While smooth strain, it is a virulent strain and it is pathogenic strain. So one is causing the disease, another is not causing the disease. This particular S strain is responsible to cause the pneumonia in the human being and various mammals. While R strain, it is also the strain of the Streptococcus pneumoniae, but this particular strain does not causes the disease. Whenever the S strain will have the infection on the mice, what will be the effect? If yes, R strain will be injected, then what will be the effect? Such effects was studied by the Griffith. So Griffith has conducted the various research on this Streptococcus pneumoniae. He conducted some experiments, and these experiments lead to the bacterial transformation. So let's study the Griffith's experiment. Griffith experiment is concerned with the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Streptococcus pneumoniae is having S strain, R strain. Firstly, he injected the living S strain in the mice. Secondly, he injected the living R strain in the mice. Third time, he injected the S strain, which is heat-killed, in the mice. So, what will be the effect of each experiment? When he injected the living S strain in the mice got the pneumonia and death of mice was done. Activity which was conducted first in the first research, that is S strain, when it is injected in the living form in the mice body, at that time this particular mice got the disease pneumonia and death of that particular mice takes place. Further, this particular R strain, which is said to be a virulent strain, which is said to be rough strain, which is a non-pathogenic, when it is injected in the living form in the mice body, at that time mice was healthy. Mice does not leads to the disease, so mice remains healthy. Third time, what he has done, S strain, this S strain bacterial strain of the Streptococcus pneumoniae, it is being heat killed. Mostly health department always says that we should use the water by boiling it. Why we should boil that particular water for better health? Because various microorganisms present in that particular water, when it is boiled at that time, these will be killed. So likewise, this S strain of the Streptococcus pneumoniae bacteria, it was heat killed, and this heat killed S strain, it is injected in the mice body. It is more interesting what will happen if the heat killed S strain will be injected. This heat killed S strain, when it is injected, already it is killed. So this does not causes the disease, and mice remains healthy. More interesting factor in the Griffith experiment is ahead. S strain in the living form, injected in the mice. Mice cause the pneumonia, death of mice takes place. Another living form R strain, when it is injected, mice remains healthy. When heat killed S strain, injected, it remains healthy. Next experiment, which was conducted by the Griffith in the 1928, if these two factors are included together, what will happen? If living R strain plus heat killed S strain, if these two are injected together, what will happen? Living R strain, individually if it is injected, mice remains healthy. If heat killed S strain, individually injected, mice remains healthy. If these two factors are included together, then what will be the activity in the body of mice? It was more astonishing thing which was studied by the Griffith, and Griffith come to know that living R strain and heat killed S strain, when both of these factors are included together or injected together, at that time mice got the pneumonia and mice gets the death. How it is possible? Individually this particular strain healthy, individually it kills strain of S healthy. If these two together, then why death of the mice takes place? It was the most astonishing factor for the Griffith. And further, this mice body was studied, and from that mice body, Griffith got the living S strain. mice body got the living S strain. Actually, we have included the hit kill S strain and living R strain. There was no living S strain in that particular injection. Still, the Griffith got the living S strain. How it is possible? After the death of that particular mice body was studied thoroughly, and it is found that living S strain present in that particular mice. How it was possible? So at that time, one factor was, or one terminology was given by the Griffith, and that is called as bacterial transformation. This new terminology was introduced by the Griffith. So person who was given the terminology bacterial transformation first time was Griffith. What is that bacterial transformation? Something is present in that particular hit kill S strain which is responsible for the conversion of living R strain into living S strain. लिविंग आर स्ट्रेन को लिविंग एस स्ट्रेन में कन्वर्ट करने वाला कुछ तो भी फैक्टर है जो प्रेजेंट है कहां पर हिट किल एस स्ट्रेन, एंड दैट पर्टिकुलर फैक्टर we have to study. Firstly, we are knowing about the Mendelian factor. Further, the factor which is responsible for the conversion of one bacterial strain into another bacterial strain, and that is said to be a transforming principle. The factor which is responsible for the conversion of one bacterial strain into another bacterial strain, it is said to be a transforming principle, and it we have to know about the bacterial transforming principle.